What's up guys, and welcome to the top 10 loadouts in Call of Duty Warzone of all time. The loadouts that we're going to be checking out in this video at some point have been the very top of the meta and considered best in class. So hopefully you find these useful and can go ahead and use them in game yourself to help you get more wins and kills. And also, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we are 10 days away from Black Ops Cold War weapons being added into the game, which is going to throw everything up in the air, and you're not going to want to miss out on the best loadouts, tips, tricks, the lot that are going to make you better at the game. So hit that subscribe button, you'll get better, I promise. But I'm going to kick off with the very first loadout, which is the best of all time. It really started Warzone off. This was the class that I was running around with day one. It's still incredible to use right now, but it's using the M4A1. Now, on the M4A1 itself, it's going to have that monolithic suppressor. I'm going to miss the monolithic suppressor when Cold War starts. I don't know what I'm going to do. But monolithic suppressor, you're going to have that grenadier barrel, which is going to give you the longest damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, which really helps steady this up. The underbarrel commando foregrip doesn't penalize your aim down sight. Now, what's really interesting is when Warzone first started, like, you still always had the 60 round mag, but most people ran no stock for that mobility because this is what people used to run in competitive. However, you don't want to do that now. You don't want to run tac laser either because the iron sight on the M4, I'm going to be honest, it's not very good, and you're better off just using an optic. You're going to be far more consistent with your shots. You're going to get more kills. So the choices that you've got, Corp Combat Holo, really nice. I personally use the VLK scope. It's kind of my go-to. I really enjoy using the Corp Combat, but the VLK, for me, the most consistent. Now, you might actually remember, if we go to the perks here, in Season 1, you started off with Ghost and ran an RPG, because RPGs at the start of Warzone were ridiculous. Like, you would just be firing rockets with AMP just into the top of buildings and just picking up some of the easiest kills and squad wipes in history. But now you don't want to do that. You want to go perk 2, use Overkill to get a close range weapon. Now, the Season 1 loadout was definitely still the MP5. Like, I kind of like using my Buzzkill one, where I'm just going to wipe all that stuff off. The Integral Monolithic Suppressor, the 5MW laser, so you got that faster sprint out time. You're going to have the Merc foregrip, easily the best grip for SMGs. The ammo, 45 round mag, every day of the week. And then you're going to run the collapsible stock as well. That's like one of the best MP5s in the business. There's like different builds. There's hipfire builds where you can get rid of that and add a stipple grip tape. So lots of different ways to mess around with the MP5. But this class overall, I've started running the heartbeat sensor again as well. Since I've kind of got used to moving around the map using stun grenades, the heartbeat just gives you, especially early game, you can rack up a lot more kills using the heartbeat sensor than stuns. Loadout at the end, I might have a class I'll switch to that have stun grenades when most people have ghost. But this class, one of the best of all time, easily. EOD and amped as the other perks as well, and you want to be running Semtex. Though before the nerf, everyone had C4. Incredible class. Now, I want to move on to the second one, which was one of my favorite periods in Warzone. I think it was Season 3. This is the dominant class, but it was the Growl. Like, how amazing was this gun? This the laser beam that just didn't move. Like, Vic used this relentlessly. Like, Wars, Jukies, everyone just stuck with a Growl, and it was this simple build. It was a commando foregrip, 60 round mag. That was it. And just because it had such a clean iron sight, you would never not use this. And still, this weapon is incredible to use still. So don't completely ignore it if you want to mix it up and stop using the kilo. The Growl is still a really solid weapon. A little bit more kick now, but still really solid. And it's that MP5 again. It's the one we all know and love. The 5MW laser, Merc foregrip, 45 round mag, and that FTAC collapsible stock. And I've got really good at kind of like building these classes. It's going to go all out the window when the Cold War weapons get added. But once again, I'm going to run a heartbeat on this. This is an incredible class that you should try out. It's just a great all-rounder, and it's similar to the Kilo MP5 builds that you kind of most likely be using now, but I love the Growl. Don't forget to use it. Then people have kind of just forgot about the Bruin, even though it is the hardest hitting assault. I know it's an LMG, but it's kind of like an assault rifle. It's got a bit more kick now, and I've adjusted the class because of that. But you want that monolithic suppressor on there, the 26.8 barrel. Then you got to have the underbarrel, where I run the Commando foregrip now, just to give it a bit more stability so it doesn't kick as much. And then you got that 60 round mag, which is key to this class because it kind of changes it into an assault rifle. Like, I know it's not one, but it kind of feels like one. Then the optic, the iron sight is dreadful, so you're going to kind of need an optic. Now you can go for the combat holo or the VLK once again, and like, you know me, even though I've just gone straight past, no I haven't, yeah it is, it's at the top. I use the VLK scope every day of the week, but this is still a really good class. Now back when it was at like the top of the meta, of course you didn't have the underbarrel and you'd use the tac laser instead, but now it's got a little bit more kick to kind of counter that. Use the Commando foregrip, still an incredible weapon to use, so don't forget it. And then it was paired with the MP5 once again. Like that, the MP5, until recently, the shotgun meta has just been since season 1 up there with the very best guns. And once again, change the tactical to what you want to be using. Like the heartbeat sensor, I think, is my go-to at the moment. But you can mix this up to kind of your personal preference. I think the class loadouts and setups are more important than the rest of the class, if I'm being completely honest. Then we go to the next class, and like you'll probably recognize it straight away. This was the class that I think slightly broke me for a period of time in Warzone, and it was this growl, like the best growl in the game. And then we had the snake shots. I think everyone was happy when this went out the window because they were horrible. Like let's be honest, these were the most disgusting things to run up into in Warzone. Everyone, every building, couple snake shots. And the fact of the matter that made it even more ridiculous was that you could get ghosts straight away. So everyone had ghosts right off the bat with their growl, snake shot pistols. Like I'm just hiding in a building, or I'm just kind of like, it was a great all round. Like the growl used to be able to beam people across the map. Like it would outgun snipers at 200 plus meters. There was a point that it was ridiculous. I miss it, but it was good. But this was, I'm glad it's gone. I think the if I say it, but the R9 shotgun has sort of replaced the snake shots now in my hatred list. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments. But this class, it's not as good as it once was, but I thought I should mention it in the best classes of all time because it was definitely up there. Then we move on to what is currently the meta loadout. Now, if you need a good game, well, actually, no, I would say it's the second meta loadout. If you need a good game, this is the class that you want to use. You've got that Kilo with the monolithic suppressor, the Singard 19.8 Prowler barrel. Then you're going to have that VLK scope with the Commando foregrip and the 60 round. A lot of people have been running the 50 round mag just to kind of ammo management. I personally have always used 60, but like Aiden, when he got the world record 60 kill game, was using the 50, which I found quite interesting. But this incredible assault rifle, I'm hoping it gets replaced in 10 days time in Cold War, but we will have to wait and see. And then it's that MP5 that we all know and love once again. We just, you're going to get good at making this as quickly as possible, even though I just messed up there. Please ignore me. But then the Merc foregrip, brilliant class, EOD, overkill, amp, C4, and we're going to put that heartbeat sensor on there as well. The greatest, I think this is the most skillful, I'm pretty certain on that. The most skillful loadout. If you need to be at the top of your game, go ahead and use this. Now we'll move on, and this was a class that got a short period in the sunlight, but it was the double assault rifle class. You of course had the Kilo. It's the best assault rifle in the game now. There's not really anything that can stand up against it. It's like super solid. It's got that 556 damage profile, so it hits the same as the M4 or the M13. No, not the M13, but the M4 or the Growl, and it just doesn't move, so it's just not gonna get knocked off out. But it might do when Cold War guns get added. Then the FAL, people sort of stopped using this as much, even though I feel like it's something if you're using mouse and keyboard more, if you've got a really fast trigger finger. But the FAL still drops people like crazy. So you got that monolithic suppressor on there. You've got the marksman barrel. Then you've got that kind of tac laser that people were running. Then I had the no stock as well. Actually, no, people didn't run that. They had the commando foregrip, and then also just to make it really easy to hit people in the head, people would run the Corp Combat Holo with the blue dot on there as well. If you're ever using a Corp Combat Holo, try put the blue dot on there. But because it had a 20-round mag, you didn't actually need to put a magazine attachment on it. But it is one of the fastest killing weapons in the game. Still is right now. People have sort of moved away from it because it does share the assault rifle ammo, which means that you can burn out quite quickly. But it got a little bit of a nerf, but not much. Still incredible to use. I'm just glad it's no longer floor loot, because I remember when I actually left Superstore after picking up the FAL once with 18 kills of like 90 to 100 people left when I was streaming. It is ridiculous. But that's the rest of the class for that. Was at one point one of the best classes in the game. Then we're moving on to the shotgun meta. We've got that Kilo once again. Like we all know and love the Kilo. It's like, actually, let me know down in the comments. Do you want the Kilo still to be in the meta? Or would you like something new? Because it's been at the top for, I think, the longest period of time now. It's outshone or outlasted the Growl. And then we had the Origin 12 shotgun. I'm glad this got nerfed into the ground. I'm not going to lie to you with that, because when everyone was inside of buildings with Origin 12s, with 12-round mags, there was just like nothing you could do. This was an incredible weapon, and made up one of the best classes of all time, if I'm honest. And you can still go ahead and use this now. The Origin 12 just isn't going to be as dominant. It's still going to be really good up close. You just might get outgunned by like the R9 or outbeaten occasionally by the MP5. Still a really good weapon. Then if we move on to our next class, which I think is the #1 class in the game right now, sadly, because it has the no skill weapon. You've got that Kilo. Once again, just get in the habit of being able to make these quickly, because the amount of times I change my classes around and building new classes is pretty often when I'm trying new weapons out. So you get the hang of doing this as quickly as you can. But then the R9 with Dragon Breath rounds is heartbreaking. There's nothing can beat this. If someone slow plays inside a building, it doesn't matter what gun you've got, you cannot beat this weapon. It's got such a fast sprint to fire time as well because of the stipple grip tape and the 5MW laser, and then that tac sentry and choke really kind of focus that fire up close. Nothing can beat this. You just walk into a building and it's like doof, 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 doof. Like, what are you supposed to do? I really hope this gets nerfed, and like, please, if you're listening, Infinity Ward and Raven, please kill this into the ground. I know it's hard because shotguns either have to be really good up close or they're terrible, but I personally would prefer their terrible route, if I'm honest. Now I want to get on to the snipers of Call of Duty Warzone. The Mp7 Sniper loadout was probably it was iconic. Like, you had the monolithic suppressor with the recon barrel, then you would have that Merc foregrip, 60-round mag, and then stipple grip tape. Great all-round SMG. It's good at a distance for finishing someone off you hit with your sniper. It's also pretty damn good up close. It does get beaten by the MP5, but only just. Like, you can go with the MP7 every day of the week quite happily, and then you've got your sniper rifle. And recently, this was the Kar 98 for a lot of people if you went for a marksman rifle, but I feel like the SPR 208 has kind of come in and, you know, taken the top spot with the normal rounds. Then you have the monolithic suppressor, you have the SPR 26 barrel. You then have to put a scope on it. Some people have been running an iron sight build recently, and I personally wouldn't go for that. I'd use the Solo Zero SPR 28mm scope. It's like a 7x zoom, which is really nice. Snap onto targets really easily. But this build, like, I love this build because you've got the tac laser on there just for a faster aim down sight speed. Great sniper rifle, and great loadout. And then, right, this dominated the early seasons because the HDR was easily the sniper that everyone went for. It was like, if you were going to be using a sniper, you'd use the HDR just because it had no bullet drop. It was really easy to use compared to the AX50. Then people started using the AX50 once they kind of got the hang of the game and could like snap on. Like, you saw people like Bartonologists as kind of snapping onto people and racking up some ridiculous gameplays. But the HDR is the best introduction sniper in the game. right? You're going to have that monolithic suppressor, 26.9 HDR Pro barrel. You're going to have that tac laser. Then I run the Stalker Scout stock on there. And then also recently, I didn't have a variable zoom scope. I would go FMJ. That for me was the best all-round loadout. Because if someone was hiding behind a bit of cover, you could still pick up the kill, but a great loadout. Now, these, in my opinion, are the best loadouts in Warzone of all time. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments below. I hope you guys found these loadouts useful as well. I'm going to have loads of best class setups when the Black Ops Cold War weapons get added into the game, as well as loads of tips and tricks. So I hope those videos help you out. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time for more Warzone.